All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakwakadash, that belongs to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Well, peace, blessings, salutations to the full elect that is out there pushing, laboring, believing, and listening on to this truth with heart sincerity. I already made a blessed election be upon your houses. All right, the title and topic of this lesson, all right, is going to be all right on what is truly being free. All right, you Jake is not free in this place truly, man. All right, and even before I even really get into it, this is the definition, right, from the Oxford languages, for the word free, right? Freedom, right? It reads the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint, right? And when you look at Babylon America, right, you cannot do that, right? You cannot, ultimately, act, speak, or think as you want in this place, man, right? Because the minute you go against the grain, you get demonized, right? We be on the highways and hedges speaking against the wickedness that this place, promotes, and they demonize us for that, man. They hate us for that. All right. And let me get this too, right? Some of the which one was it? I believe it was this one, right? Some of the synonyms, right, for freedom, right? And we have a privilege, right? Independence, self-government, okay, self-sufficient, all right, and so forth, man, right? So in this place, you're not truly free, right? We all still have to, clock into your 9 to 5. You still have to pay taxes, right? If you don't go to work, what happens, right? If you don't work and you don't get that check from Esau Edom, what happens, right? You'll lose your house. You won't be able to put food on the table. Your car will get repossessed, or you won't be able to put gas in your car, and so forth, man, right? And we also got what? The social security numbers, man. Right? That is, their identification to keep track of all the people in Babylon, man. Right? So we are under subject to these devils in this place, man. Right? And when you go to, social security just real quick, right? It says a social security number is a unique 9-digit number issued by the government to track earnings for benefits used for employment, taxes, banking, and government services, and assigned to citizens, permanent residents, and eligible non-citizens. Right, so you can't even get a bank account, without even having a social security number, right? And that is, that social security number is basically like a tracking number in other terms, man, right? Because when you look at inmates in jail, they have their inmate numbers, right? When you look at what's the other one? Slipping my mind. Oh yeah, cattle, right? Cattle, right? Like cows and so forth, right? Farmers, right? They have their cattle, right? They put different identification numbers on 'em to know who which is which. All right, okay. And matter of fact, let me search this up. Right, so boom, it says right how the plantations did it, right, when Jake was in hardcore bondage, right? They would have slave records, right, to keep track of their slaves, right? And this right here says plantation diaries. I'm gonna pull it up real quick, you know put this right. That So it says the diaries detail life on the plantation, including people, travel, weather conditions, and business transactions, right? So they kept a very detailed you know uh, um um record of the slaves that they had on their plantation, man. So just how in today's day and age where Jake gotta file their taxes, they gotta see how much money you're making. You gotta register to vote. You gotta register to be a selective service. They do the census to figure out how many people is in your household, where you going, and so forth, man. Right? So in reality, you're not truly free in this place, man. Because if you go against the grain, or if you don't do, the things that this place promotes to stay ultimately, aligned with the narrative or the agenda of this place, it ultimately, kind of screws you over, you know. But let me grab this. In Psalms the 73rd chapter verse 5, and it reads, "They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men." Right? Esau Edom not going through it the same way Jake going through it in this place, man. Right? Jake is the one that's doing the back breaking labor in this place, man. Jake's the one that's out here doing, busting their asses out here, man. Right? They're the ones that's doing the more so labor type of jobs in this place, man. Right? While Esau Edom is the ones that's, sitting at the top of the pedestal, living it up, kicking their feet back, and sowing the benefits of the blood, sweat, and tears of Jake, man. Right? You know, because a lot of times when you look at these business owners, when you look at these top execs and CEOs and so forth, they're Esau Edom. And when you look at their workers and the ones that's at the bottom, it's Jake. In other terms, man. Right? Let me get this. Right? Deuteronomy 28 and 48, and reads, "Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in wants of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee." And that's pretty much what they're doing to us in today's day and age, man. Right? We have to, go to these devils for the want of all things, man. Right? We have to go to them for, to get food, right? To be able to survive and live in this place, man. Right? You know? It's modern day. It's basically modern day plantation slavery, man. Right? And you got a lot of Jake that think that they are truly free in this place, man. Right? Shit, don't go to work for a week and see what happened. You know? Don't pay your rent and your mortgage and see what happened, man. You know? Right? Cause what happened when you seen Jake on the plantation? They ain't work. What happened? They got whipped, right? They got beat by the overseers, right? Or they got, put to death. They got hanged. And if you don't, fall in line, on the the modern day plantation, going to work, what happens? You get fired. If you get fired, you get no funds, you have no money, you're not able to keep that roof over your head, not able to keep the food on your table, man. Right? And I'm not saying this too just for, clarification. I'm not saying this to not work, to not have a job, but this is just, a I guess you could say in other terms, a perspective or an eye opener to show you that, you know, we're not truly free in this place, man. Right? We're not truly free in this place until, Yahweh Shah, comes back and, delivers, his elect from this place, man. Until we are in the kingdom. That's when we're truly at free, man. Right? That's when we're truly free, you know. But mentally we're free in this place because we have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding these scriptures, man. Right? And let me get that too in John the 8th chapter, right? Verse 32, and it reads, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free," man. Right? So mentally, we are free because we know the truth, right? We know the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the scriptures. We know the latter outcome of this place, man. We know what's in store for those that stay faithful and are found pleasing in the sight of Yahweh Shema Shai that gets delivered out of this place, man. We know, what the Lord has, in store, for Yasharallah in the kingdom, man. Right? We understand what's the after, what's the next, from this place, man. But right now in this place, man, we in hell, right? We still, under subject to these devils. Still had to pay taxes, and so forth, man. All right. Matter of fact, let me get this too. All right, because I had this, right? I just typed in, real quick, modern day slavery, right, on the Google, and this is the AI overview, so it gave me back, right? It said modern day slavery is an umbrella term for situations of exploitation that a person cannot refuse or leave due to threats of violence, coercion, or deception and or abuse of power, right? And that's pretty much what it's like in this place, man. Right? It says that umbrella term of situations of exploitation, right? A person can't refuse or leave, right? You can't refuse to work in this place, right? You can't refuse to, to not pay taxes, right? You don't pay taxes in this place. What happened? They gonna, arrest you for tax evasion, right? You know, you don't work in this place. You refuse to work. What's gonna happen? You gonna be out in the streets in this place, man. right? You know, you decide to not follow these devil's rules and do your own thing. What's gonna happen? You're gonna get punished for it. All right, you know. So we can't truly, enjoy our lives in this place. You can't truly enjoy your children in this place, man. If you don't send your children to Esau's school system to get indoctrinated by their philosophies and so forth, what happens? You get the truancy officers coming to your house. You could go to jail for that, man. And even if you do decide to homeschool them, you have to teach them you have to teach them their curriculum and so forth, man. Right? So we can't truly enjoy our lives in this place. We can't even enjoy, having our children and being with our children in this place, man. You know, you got 8 hours of sleep if you're lucky, 8 hours on the plantation, if you're lucky. A lot of people working 10, 12-hour shifts, getting 4 hours of sleep, 6 hours of sleep, right? But yet Jake is out here like, yeah, I'm free. I can do what I want. No, you can't. Right? This is why we are hastening the coming of Yahushua. This is why we are waiting on the Lord. We are, seeking the kingdom, man. This is why we want the kingdom. This is why we want Babylon to get destroyed, right? This is why we want salvation, man. To truly be set free. To truly be at peace in this place, man. All right? Because in this place, you work your job. That money come in, the money come out. It's a constant revolving door of being I guess you could say under subject to these devils, man. And let me get this 2 in Haggai 1:6. It reads, you have so much and bring little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but you're not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. Right? And that's modern day Babylon, America. Does that sound like freedom to you, Jake? Does that sound like you're free, Jake? So all the just out there that think that they're quote unquote free in this place, you're not. Just because you don't have physical shackles around your hand, your arms and legs and neck, right? Doesn't mean that you're not still, a slave in this place, man. Right? You see that with a lot of these animations, right, where it shows you like the workforce animation, right, where it's like a conveyor belt, where they just have to, everybody is just following one line, and you have to go. If you don't go, then they, they come after you, in other terms, man. Right? But that is the day-to-day life in Babylon, America. That's why we hate this place, man. All right? But so much of these Babylonians are so drunk off of the Babylonian wine that they truly believe that they are not, a slave in this place, man. Right? They truly believe that they are free in this place, man. Right? And that's why they call it the American dream, right? Because you have to be asleep to believe it. But hey, I'm going to wrap it up with that. We are hastening the coming of Yahushua. We are hastening the kingdom. We are hastening salvation. To truly be set free from this place, man. That is when we are truly free. Is when we are, delivered out of this place and in the kingdom, man. But hey, Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect of Israel. With that being said, I'll give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakwakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone Well. Peace, blessings, salutations to the elect that is out there pushing, laboring, believing, and listening on to this truth with heart sincerity. Until next time, shalom, and a ball. Kwame Sharala, shalom.